Hello, hello, everyone. I'm in a new seat. This isn't my normal seat. That's because I have multiple desks within this workshop. Welcome to my painting setup. Honestly, with where the camera is, I actually can probably give you a decent workshop tour today while we're working, in case I've got extra dry time. But today, I'm going to be doing some painting. It's not something that's I do all the time here. I'm not a mini painter by expertise. I am decent, um, which is fine. You don't need to be perfect. Nobody needs to be perfect. We're here to have fun and we're here to relax and we're gonna conjure some crafts today. So, welcome to Conjure and Craft. This is the newly renamed Tuesday stream where I do a bit of crafting and we conjure something magical together. Today, I am going to be painting because I've been putting off painting this mini for a while, and I need to do it because I'm probably going to have to use him this weekend. Procrastination is great. It's super fun. If you're new around here, welcome in. I'm Ashlyn. I'm the Dollar Store DM. I am the lead artisan of the Art of Adventure, a network that is focused around uplifting creators and crafters, giving them a space to show the amazing things that they do, and give them a space to come on and really experiment and have a bit of fun. We have a number of different shows. Every Tuesday is Conjure and Craft, except for the first Tuesday of the month, where I bring in another creator and we do a budget build battle. If you missed the budget build battle last week, the VOD is still up. I also am uploading things to YouTube because I'm remembering to do that now. Are they getting released in order? No? They're getting released in the order that I remember to press the button. Because sometimes I forget that I've missed one and then I put them off. Weird. I'm really great at technology, as you can tell. But they are going to be posted up on YouTube as well. So if you miss the VODs here, you can always catch them there. So yeah, today we are going to be painting a really cool mini. I found it on My Mini Factory, and it is absolutely wicked. Look at that guy. The base is not from My Mini Factory. And in fact, I kind of buggered up printing his base. He had a really complicated, very big base. And I'm not a great 3D printer, so it got a little warped. But we are going to be painting him up as our big bad for the Mechanus arc of my home campaign. He is it is referred to as Prime, genderless, and it is a corrupted Prime. Specifically. So within my world, or within the campaign that I'm running, each of the planes of existence has been corrupted by an ancient entity known as Malphurus. And Malphurus has essentially, it's very Kingdom Hearts flavored. I wrote it before I realized that it was very Kingdom Hearts flavored. I played Kingdom Hearts. I just didn't make that connection until it was too late and I'd already written too much. But essentially, Malphurus has corrupted each of the planes of existence to essentially warp against their core being. Mechanus being of order, of this very mechanical precision. The corruption has been fleshy body horror and assimilation. And I've been scaring my players. It's been fun. So one of Prime's primary weapons it uses in the assimilation is this fun guy right here. Yes, that is a disembodied or disemboweled body inside of a mechanical crab thing. Yes, this does about 40 damage with each of its 4 strikes. Yes, my players are level 7. It has a movement speed of 20. If you get in melee with it, you brought that on yourself. But so yeah, this thing was the first thing that they encountered in Mechanus. It's terrifying, and it was intended to be terrifying so that they got the sense of, oh right, this is a stealth mission. We are not supposed to kill everything we see. We need to run away. I only have one of the minis, so they can only face one of them at a time. However, the other creatures that they have faced have been more killable. including these little robo spider dudes. So I've got a bunch of these. They're super fun. I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's where I put all the other ones. See, my workshop is a colossal mess because it is a representation of my brain. Here we go. There's my guys. There's my scaries. These are the other minis that kind of give the vibe of what we're going to be painting today. So our Corrupted Prime is going to be reminiscent of these. Yeah, a bit of the Borg. So yeah, just fleshy abominations of horrific style. They were super fun to paint. They are very... Wow. Focus. There it goes. Yeah, they're creepy. Uber creepy. So we got a whole bunch of them with different levels of machinery. But yeah. Those are the creatures we are going to be emulating with Prime today. So it is the leader of all of them. So we're going to do a little bit of flesh horror. We're going to do a little bit of mechanic. Yeah, so super fun. He is already primed. Prime's already primed. So we can get right in. So everybody make sure you grab yourself a delicious beverage. That I'm going to try not to spill everywhere, and I'm going to try to remember to drink the paint water. And let's get going today. So most of the paints I'm planning on using are pretty much the same ones that I was using for all the other flesh monsters. I really like this Vallejo. Well, nope, that's not on screen. This Vallejo like base skin tone is really nice for especially fleshy things because it takes to reds really nicely. Which is great. So I'm actually going to, well, do I want to start with metallic bits or do I want to start with fleshy bits? I think the metallic bits are going to be the predominant bit. He is mostly metal. What I do want to do is see all these little faces here. They're kind of hard to see in the camera, but each of those I want to actually be like a human face. So I think I might do those later because I think I'll have an easier time going on top of the metal. So we're going to start with that silver. Now, I'm not a fancy painter. I don't have a wet brush or a wet palette. I don't have super fancy, well, I have nice brushes. Well, they were nice when I got them. No one judge me for the state of my brushes. Or for the fact that that's clogged. There we go. Also trying desperately to not knock over the camera that's right here. Positioned in just such a great manner. Oh, come on. Don't we all love when we fully jam up a paint bottle? Do I have a needle? I have a needle. All right. See if that made a difference. There we go. Oh, that's coming out so slow. Alright, so this is a... Where is this from? I don't even know. Oh, these are Pathfinder paints. Hey, Jack. Yeah, most of my paints are actually from Iron Tusk minis. And no, that's not a paint person, or it's not a paint shop. It is a very, very talented painter. Really, they are from Mage Brush, who was on episode 1 of the Budget Build Battles. He gave them to me because he had so many extra. And he got these ones from Ian, Iron Tusk Minis, who is the painter for Critical Role. So I've got, like, the coolest hand-me-downs. Alrighty. We're gonna do a lot of just big brushes here today. Alright, why do you have mica powder on you? I'm somehow missing my favorite brush, but that's probably for the best because it has been chewed by my dog. I swear it is actually getting painted. It adds a bit more of a metallic sheen, just doesn't show on the camera as much. Shiny. I'm going to do a lot of the accents in copper, especially like all these tubes. Yeah, I really like this mini. It's very cool, very aesthetic. It's less creepy than a lot of the ones that I had, but that's okay. Swamp is blue. I mean, no, it wasn't blue. It was, yeah, it was green. Don't try and use reverse psychology on me. I'm definitely smarter than that. Definitely. Ooh. I've really enjoyed running in Mechanus. But one of the best things I've done in it so far is we had a puzzle last session that was born about by me realizing that I wanted to have a puzzle in each of the planes of existence and realizing day of that I didn't have one. So I did what any self-respecting DM will do, and I turned to Reddit for random, like, wiring type puzzles. And I found one that I was able to adapt. I'll lose something in there. I'm so paranoid I'm gonna knock him off this freaking base. But I did a wiring puzzle, and there's a detailed account of it on my TikTok with the rules and all of that. But essentially, they had a bunch of different colored wires, and they needed to attach them to the correct ports on one side and the other of a terminal. And they were doing this in order to access the hive mind that all of these mechanical beings are existing under, so that they can sneak in and take out Prime. Because if they didn't do that, they wouldn't get very far. So in order to access that, they needed to solve this wiring puzzle. And I've got a party of very smart people. There are a lot of advanced degrees in my D&D party, mostly engineers. So I gave them a wiring puzzle, and it took 45 minutes. Well, it took them 45 minutes to get through that, which is just like the perfect amount of time to get through a difficult puzzle. Like, they didn't get to the point that it got just annoying and frustrating, because no one likes that. But yeah, that was a wiring puzzle. I'm gonna post the actual rules, like a document version of the rules to that on my on the Art of Adventure Discord. If you are not in the Art of Adventure Discord yet, there is a link in my link tree. It is open to everybody. But it's a little community that we're building, talking about story building, terrain building, cosplay, every little aspect of TTRPGs and storytelling overall, and adventures. Um, and a little bit of food, because who doesn't love a little bit of food? Uh, but yeah, come and hang out with us in that Discord. I am going to start doing challenges on the Discord where there'll be kind of community challenges that'll run the whole month. And at the end, we'll come together and look at everybody's awesome stuff. And I will have some winners. Now, this will just be for the funsies. At least to start. We might do a big one that I give away prizes on. And pets. Yes, we do show off our pets there too. My pets aren't allowed to come in here because they would be annoying. I love them dearly. But it's too close to their dinner time for me to let them near me while I'm streaming. So they are outside. Although if you come into Pixel Party on Thursdays, you will probably see them because I do that stream from the dog room. All right. So we've got him now shiny. Ooh, pretty, shiny, monochromatic. Let's get a little bit more on the... I missed a few antennae. I know I'm going to go over these later in a different color, but everything's getting a shiny base coat. Really like this silver. Sparkly, shiny, glimmery. He looks like a Cyberman. A very, very spiny Cyberman. For my Doctor Who fans out there. Alright. Now that we've got that shiny base, let's do some color blocking for the fleshy bits. And this is where I get to decide what is flesh and what is machine. I'm thinking the legs here are going to be flesh up until this point. And the knees and maybe below will be metal. For the arms, there are some points that I can see being a bit more flesh. And then I definitely want these to each be fleshy as well. Let's see how dry is that. That's pretty dry. Cool. Paint dries really nicely. Oh, I fully missed the back of these. Whoops. Silly Ashlyn. Be thorough. This is the hard thing with like it being primed in gray and going over it in silver. Because it's easy for me to miss a bit. There we go. That's better. Back into the paint water we go. So I got this little, essentially just like a little paint cup from, I'll show it up here. Paint cup from Dollar Tree. It's got a lid, so you don't drink the paint water. And then inside I have a brush disc from Game Envy. It's great. It's silicone, so it cleans really easily. And it gets the paint off the brushes really well. Alright, so for all the flesh, I am going to be using that basic skin tone from Vallejo. It's just my favorite base tone for, like, oozy flesh. And I'm not using a fancy palette. This is just like a dollar store plastic palette. Nothing too crazy. It did come out very watery though. That'll work though. It just makes a good base tone. Again, I'm just color blocking here, so if I get, if there's over splash, I can go over it later. Prime only takes the best flesh bits for him itself. Look at these, like, Adonis legs. I'm gonna turn down the light on this. It's a little bright. There we go. Much better. I feel like everyone has their own, like, I'm concentrating on painting face. It's always funny watching yourself back on a video and being like, wow, that's what I look like when I am thinking that hard. It's like he's got little pants. Very Fiero pants for my Wicked stands. Hey, thanks for the sub. Cheers, Jack. Alright. Time for the flesh faces. I'm definitely gonna have to go back over the silver, but that's okay. That's what color blocking is for. Not worrying too much about being super precise because I'm going to go back over it later. But yeah, we've got some little flesh pauldrons. Hee hee. And let's see. It's funny because this model was definitely intended as a all mechanical thing, which is why it is so just Adonisly built. It's not blinding, yeah. So like, he is strong. He is a strong man, or it's a strong prime. The model is obviously intended to be a bit more mask. It does have a bulge. But Prime exists outside of gender and understanding. If we put it into our Pokemon Too Many Types lingo, Prime is not affected by gender. Yeah, robots obviously gotta be jacked. over. This is such a beautiful sculpt too. It's so cool. Flesh. Gotta get a little flesh in the back here. It's like the idea of this being connected by like this sinew. Like that it looked like a turtle or something. And then went, yes. It's like the whole underside of this is made of gooey flesh. Filled with wires. Yeah. Definitely have to go over a lot of this again with silver, but that's okay. We'll do that after we fleshify everything. Alright, second pass. They do probably think in a binary code. I will say, while I do love this color, it does always require those two coats. But that's fine. Sometimes it doesn't work with me, though. Be a little stubborn. Ooh. As I smack my camera. Yeah, flesh monster. All right. Need to let that dry a bit, so I'm going to do a little detail work on some of these spines. So I have a few different options here. I've got this Mecha Copper color. And then I also have this Old Gold from Vallejo. Both of them I really like. I've used them both, and you can see them. I think I used both in here. This might have just been the copper. So I used the copper for the highlights in this one. I've been using a lot of the copper for highlights in this world. I was a bit lazy with my little grunt soldiers, so they don't have as many highlights, but since he is the prime, he might have some gold as well. So I'm thinking where I'd want to have things be gold shiny, where I think things should be more coppery shiny. Now, there's all this filigree design on here, and that's going to get brought out later when I use this awesome grime shade. So I've got grime, and I've got a black wash for mechs from Vallejo. This is magic. Like, genuinely magical. It has done wonders. We won't get to that till the end, but. Alright. I'm going to start with the copper, because I kind of just like how it looks with the skin tones, too. You know, I think I might do... I'm thinking for the spines. Do I want the spines in gold and then like the tubing and such in copper? I think is what I might do. So I'm going to wait on the copper because that's all too close to the flesh. I'm going to finish the flesh before I do that. Yay, gold. It's such a pretty gold too. It's like this kind of rusticy looking gold. And honestly, this gives it kind of a, like, almost celestial look to it, which is cool. So the reason that the corruption was able to take root in each of these planes of existence is because each of the, like, leaders and the powers that be began to reach beyond their means as a way of competing with the other planes. So the planes of existence were sundered from each other for 8,000, about 8,000 years, due to events on the material plane that are era 1 of my, it marks the end of the first age or era in my homebrew world. And in being sundered from each other, they used to have a lot of like free trade and travel between all of the different planes, and they actually did communicate back then, or before the sundering. After the sundering, you have a bunch of creatures native to the plane, but also creatures from other planes that got stuck there. And they kind of exist in this like weird limbo state for 8,000 years, which means you've got all these humanoids in places like Mechanus. Um, all of that sort of thing. Um, and so when the planes were brought back together in the events of my last home campaign, because it's all one giant connected world, uh, they suddenly had this like, oh, we've been separated for 8,000 years. There's all this isolationism. There's all of this. They've gotten very different from each other, even more so than they were before. And so now there's a sense of other, of an us versus them, of competition within this space. So each of the leaders began searching for ways to compete with the other planes. And what Mechanus started doing was experimenting with utilizing, like basically combining organic and mechanical beings, and in particular trying to access the magic of the organics, specifically sorcery. And that is actually where the player who plays the character from Mechanus, Andrew Magebrush, who I hope is not watching this because this actually no, he's seen this model. We're good. Because I gave him a glimpse into what Prime looks like. Soren, SRN, his character is from Mechanus, and actually was created by Prime in an effort to create the first sorcerer of the plane. So he is a Clockwork Soul sorcerer. And was able to escape the corruption that came and claimed the plane after they let in that temptation from Malphurus in order to achieve him. But that is how each of that corruption has started to take root. And I really like the Mechanus storyline for that. And it's allowed me to have some really cool RP with them. So there are still survivors from the assimilation event that live on Mechanus and hide within like the bowels of the plane. Yeah, a lot of flesh on the streets. Yes, we did have a rebrand of the channel. This was the Dollar Store DM channel. It is now the Art of Adventure. Art of Adventure is the name that I gave to the original stream that I ran that will be making a comeback. So that is the Art of Adventure creator stream, where I bring crafters and creators from around the world together to play a one-shot of D&D. And then they create all of the materials, minis, dice, terrain, everything for the next group of people. So it's kind of like a pass it on community stream. It's super fun, and I've had some really amazing players on, a lot of whom are wanting to come back. So you may see some familiar faces come back to this channel, including, and some new ones. Familiar faces, including Robert Hartley of Viva la Dirt League, who is an amazing GM. If you have not checked out his work with Viva la Dirt League and the work on his channel is linked in my suggested channels below. I have had the pleasure of being a player at his table a few times now, and it is always an amazing experience. We also will have back some favorites like Pepperina Sparkle Gem, my friend Ashley, the Mother of Dragons, I've gotten interest from uh, Chisel and Foam, who you saw here last week. Well, that's definitely a support that's getting pretended like it's a thing. That's fine. And a whole bunch of other returning people, including who else did I talk with? I've chatted with Tabletop Witchcraft, who has been on here before doing a budget build battle against me. I think that was the first Caverns episode we did. Oh, I love that. That's like a freaking celestial crown. Oh, that looks cool. I love that. I love this gold. As I get quiet, because I don't want to screw it up. Don't bugger it up. It's always like the back parts of these. Aha. Oh, that looks dope. That looks super cool. I like that. Ooh, and I think for these tassels, I have this really pretty uh it's one of my favorite colors that I have. It's gunmetal blue. It's so pretty. And that actually ties really well into Soren's character mini because he's got a lot of this sort of blue tone. That did not get shaken nearly enough. I have not used this in a while. There we go. Oh, it's so pretty. God, like look at that color. Alright, I'm gonna use a smaller brush for this. Oh, oh, that's just a gorgeous color. Oh, I love it so much. Probably my favorite color in my collection. And anytime I can use it, I use it. Like, look at that. That's just so pretty. Gosh. This is where we get into why Ashlyn isn't a mini painter overall, is I don't have a very steady hand. Yes. Oh, just the little tassel of blue. Perfect. That's, that works really well. I'll probably do gold as the bottoms on these. It's one of my favorite colors to do for like fancy silks. Oh, that's a weird, awkward angle. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move back into my flesh now because I think this is all dry. It's dry enough. Okay, so we got all this fleshy bit. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this flesh wash and use a ton of it. And it's gonna get real gross. Because usually you just use a little bit of flesh wash so, you know, it doesn't look like it's decaying. But we're going for that decayed look. Kind of just all over. This is definitely one of those moments that it's like, do you think you've done enough? You haven't. It is not fleshy enough yet. Just absolutely soak this bastard. And all of our flesh faces. These ones I will soak up a little bit of that. I don't think I waited quite long enough for that to dry, but that's okay. It ends up making it look more fleshy. If I was doing this like real flesh, I would have waited longer. Hello, what are we making today? Uh, we are making a, this is the big monster for the Mechanus bit that I'm running in my campaign. So right now I'm fleshifying everything. We're making it gross. Like it's been decaying. Because it's been a year that these things have been fleshing. So much flesh wash. God, that looks so nasty. I love it. It should look terrifying. I'm out of fresh wash. More fresh wash. I like that I have this like super calming music going as I create a horrific monstrosity of a creature. Probably definitely didn't wait long enough for this inner bit, but that's okay, because it looks gross and fleshy. Yay! Gross and fleshy. Horrifying. All right, let's let that dry for a little bit. Yes, we have a Discord. Also, everyone say hi to Dungeons and Aprons, who is our, who is helping me moderate, as well as will be the DM for an upcoming show. Oh yeah, time is very much never on your side. Paper minis are great. I will never knock paper minis. And actually, while we wait for these to dry, I'll show you my favorite minis that I started off with. So, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get my early minis. Where are they? So as proof, you don't need fancy minis. As I paint a fancy mini. This is a bottle cap. And I drew a little picture that represented, this was Swiftrunner, who was a Tabaxi rogue and the daughter of our Tabaxi monk. That was a very complicated character backstory we formed there. But I made little decals for each of them, so this is like a set of thieves' tools, and just glued it on. You want, for monsters, easy thing, I just printed out some things. So like, here's a kobold. And this is just like a Karl Strauss bottle cap. Yeah, bottle caps are great. They also make very good bases for minis. So this is also a bottle cap. It's just spray painted. Bottle cap. Other cheap things that I have used. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of these lying over on the side. Oh yeah, everybody has those weird mini stand-ins. Other things. Actually, one of these under my feet, I think, at the moment. Yep, because I have a full set down on the floor here because I am a messy Bessie. This is made of hot glue. It is quite literally just little strandies of hot glue and a bottle cap with hot glue on it. And then I spray painted it. And then I took some like color shifty mica powder and put that on top to make it look a little bit more ethereal. Yeah, I love this ooze monster. We love an ooze. All right. While our gross flesh is drying, let's put on some of that copper. I kind of want to give him copper fingertips. That sounds kind of cool. Or copper hands. Let's see how it looks overall on the... Ooh, that might be a little too close to the skin tone. Huh. What do we think? Yeah. It might all be gold on this one. So we might not use any copper. Because the gold does stand out a little better. Let's go over that with the gold. Yeah, the gold's a better accent on this. Hell yeah, that's what these things are for. Paint and hang, grab whatever you're working on, work with me, post what you're working on in the Discord. Uh, we've got a spot just for Conjure and Craft. You also can put it under general crafting, all those things. If you're not on the Discord, there is a link in the link tree. It's a permanent link, or it should be a permanent link if I did it right, which is always the question, whether I'm going to do things correctly. So all the other ones have like a lot of blood and gore and goop on them. Outside of the decaying flesh, I think I want him to look pretty pristine. As like a contrast. It definitely had feet at a point, and they definitely, that part of the print definitely failed. But I'm impatient, and I was like, you know what? I've done enough of this print. I'm not gonna do it again. Yes, this is a boss. This is the final boss for Mechanus. So this is Corrupted Prime. There's just something kind of extra scary about in a world filled with all this grime and gore. This both horrifying and pristine being. Yeah, Prime is kind of the like God King of Mechanus. And it's a title more than anything, actually. So, at least in my world. Because I don't follow standard lore, because screw that. But whatever being is the leader is Prime. So, in the kind of traverse town, shanty town that the players have been living in for a year, there's a Prime there. Because it is the leader of the Mechanist side. And that Prime sent Soren to go take out this Prime. Because this is the Prime that's responsible for everything going wrong. Yeah. Alright. This is where it's going to get a little tricky. I'm going to have to do a bit more of this close-up work. There we go. Yeah. Horrific. There we go. Haha. Got all the wires. a little Goku vibe, yeah. Little Super Saiyan. All right. Now I gotta touch up the silver, and then we can get in with the... Oh, right, I was gonna do a little bit of... Let's see how the copper looks as an accent here. Oh, that's real watery. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to touch up the silver. And then I'm going to do the rivets, I think, in the copper. And then we can grime him. Oop. Come on, focus. Weird. All right. Go back in with the silver now. And all these bits that got a little too fleshy. Just quickly go back over them. Flesh wash is definitely still very wet. Well, yes. New Percy Jackson campaign for the Untold Archives. Should be super cool. Freaking love Percy Jackson. Such like a staple of my childhood. Yeah, we got cool things happening with our members of our community because our community's cool. I'm so excited for Dungeons and Aprons. It's gonna be so freaking fun. Ah, shit. It's okay. Accidents happen. Anything else get too fleshy? That got a little fleshy. Can't have a fleshy ass. Have cheeks of steel. Getting caked up. Exactly. You can just always just paint back over it. There we go. Alright, where did I bugger him up? Oh, I buggered up there, yeah. That's an easy fix. That's just since I was moving to the copper anyway. Boop. And you're now none the wiser. Alright. Now this has a bunch of tiny little dots everywhere. Ah, shit. That's too watery. God damn it. I need to do a better job of mixing this. Isn't that always the case, though? You always come back into something at like the weirdest moment. All these little rivets everywhere are going to be made with copper. They're so tiny. With just a little extra detail there. Another little... Okay, a lot of them up here. see a little bit that got too much gold on it. And then we'll be ready for some grime. Some of these didn't get enough gold on them. Love turning the mini and being like, oh shoot, that's a whole side that didn't get done. There we go. Fix a skosh of the blue. Oh, why did that come out a different color? All right. So here's our guy in all of his horrifying... Oh, here's our guy in all of his horrifying glory. And now we're going to make it so these details pop. So that's where our grime comes in. Now this grime is freaking magic when it comes to metals. So let's just start on the breastplate here. And it just makes everything stand out. And now you can actually kind of see that pattern. Hey! Welcome in, check for traps. Ooh, that got a bit of something else in it. Yeah, suddenly we have shadows and contrast and like it looks so much better. I'm just going to put this on everything metallic. It especially works really well with this silver. Gives it so much depth. That I don't have the skills to create myself. But yeah, it's already like so much better just by having that. Ooh. Oh, shit. That wasn't grime. Ah! That was blue. Shit. Well, we're going to fix these faces. They got a little decayed looking. So we'll let that dry off. That's what I get for putting grime next to really dark blue. Did that to myself. It's like, I'll take that over drinking the paint water. No, Ashlyn, don't put blue on it. I almost just did it again. And I'm sure you guys are watching me like, no, Ashlyn, that's the wrong one. But I fear that I am just a silly little bean. This also really helps cover the spaces between colors and give it a natural shadow, which also hides any overcoloring. It makes it look, wow, wow, look at that, it's got a thing. Look, at least that time I processed. Caught myself that time. I may not be perfect, but I do usually sometimes learn. She can be taught. It's also especially great in like the joints between things. Again, we're trying to create those illusions of shadows. It's also going to sink into all of these little crevices. Create some dimension. Let's go back and fix where I blued. Ah! Brush is wet. We'll go back over that with some flesh wash in a bit. Alright. I very nearly put my paintbrush in my beer can, which would have been quite a feat, I feel. I'm on a roll. Alright, and then the leggies. All right. Almost there. Last thing, make sure them cheeks pop. All right. And here we have Prime. Not bad for hour and a half paint job there. Quick little speed paint boss. Prime beside one of his little minions. Boom. I'm happy with how he turned out. I think he looks absolutely terrifying in a, like, regal godlike way. Yeah, that stuff is magic. You guys couldn't see the pattern before. Now there's a pattern on his breastplate. Like, it's got details. And shadows. And it made it so much better. Yeah, that stuff is freaking magic. So it is... I think I like it more than, like, Nuln Oil. Especially when I'm doing things like that. So yeah, it's this shader grime. Highly recommend. This is amazing. And it's why all of these mechanical beings look so good and look like I spent so long painting them. It's because of that grime. So you can see all those shadows are just from using that product. Uh, so highly recommend. It's one of my favorite products when I'm doing like mechanical creatures like this, because it just does such a good job. But yeah, because we left that flesh wash super thick, because usually with washes like that, you want to like you blot away a lot of it and just leave it in the crevices. But it's created this kind of just real nasty looking flesh. Oh, this got a little overspilled there. Put a little flesh wash over it and it'll probably hide a lot of that. When in doubt, especially with diseased looking flesh, when in doubt, blot it out. There we go. Good as new. But it created that kind of diseased look, which is what we wanted for him. But yeah, here's our finished guy. In time for me to throw him at my players next week. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just dry brush this base. I'm going to do it in gold because it's just going to create this kind of cool effect. For those who are new to dry brushing, you get most of the paint off of the thing before you even start putting it on. This is just going to create kind of a brushed gold effect. Which is what I'm using for a lot of the actual terrain, so it will match everything around him. Just put him on the ground. It's much easier to dry brush when it's placed down like that. And I'm trying very hard not to knock him off. And I'm mostly worrying about the spokes. It's okay if there's a lot of black, because it kind of just fits with everything else. I keep hitting the box that my camera's on. Yeah. Super quick little dry brush with that old gold. And there we have our finished mini. For size comparison, here's the size of the minis, a character mini, versus our big bad here. So I have to come up with a stat block for him now. So if you've got any ideas on how to stat this very homebrew creature, go ahead and drop them in the Discord. I'll be posting up some glamour shots of him for inspo pics. But yeah, he is quite a large lad. Yeah, he big. He's a big mini. This is why when like the feet failed, I went, he's floating. It's fine. He doesn't have feet. He doesn't need feet. He's got tubes that levitate him. I'm not reprinting this monstrosity. But yeah, pretty good for an hour and a half build. Thank you so much for hanging out with me during our session today, our little Conjure and Craft. I will be back on Thursday with Pixel Party. We're going to continue our playthrough of Pokemon Too Many Types, which has been super fun. I've had to miss a few because of just like craziness of life and all of that stuff. And coming back from conventions. But we will be back on Thursday with that. In the meantime, if you are not following, give us a follow. If you are inclined to subscribe or you have an open Prime subscription, go ahead and subscribe. And if you are not part of our Discord, the Discord is in my link tree, which should be uh, in the bio. I believe it is. I'm pretty sure I double checked that. Also within the link tree, I've got a new thing, and you can shop within that link tree, or you can go to my Printful site for the full store, and you can get cool merch like this. This comes in multiple cuts, not just racerback tank top, which is my preferred. But I have painting shirts, I have art of adventure shirts, I've got all sorts of hobby wear. All of them are designed by me. It's all my stuff. And all the money helps me keep going on this channel, especially once we start up with Art of Adventure and we will have shipping costs to deal with. But go ahead and check that out. Link is in the link tree, which is on my Instagram, my TikTok, should be in the Twitch. It's pinned in the Discord, that you can find it everywhere. But yeah, if you are not following me on Instagram and TikTok, I am Dollar Store DM. I really should put that in here. It is not on the Twitch at the moment. Good to know. It should be on there. But I might just be crazy. Let's see if I can pull it up. Link.tree. Actually, this is what I get for having a username that has a lot of underscores. Copy. There we go. There's the link tree. So you can go ahead and check that out. That's got all the information for all of our shows. It's got Patreon. It's got Coffee. If you don't want to fully subscribe to the Patreon, you also can send little tips in the coffee jar. And it's got the store. So I will be back on Thursday. And I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday. Cheers. Yes, the hot glue gun. I have linked my favorite hot glue gun into there. It takes a while. It takes a number of people actually buying it for me to actually get any commissions. I've just had people ask me what glue gun I use. And so that's the glue gun I use. That's the only like affiliate link, go buy this from Amazon. It's just because that's where you can buy it. And where I could link it from. If you are welcome to go to your local store and get they have Surebonders everywhere. That's the brand that I use. I also use their glue sticks that I wasn't able to link on there, but they're massive. 5 pounds of hot glue in a single roll. There, you can see the roll sticking up. Surebonder makes great things. If Surebonder ever ends up on this video and wants to sponsor me, I will happily take a Surebonder sponsorship. I stand by their products. But yeah, so that's the only link on there that say Amazon will pay me money if you buy it through that link. They won't really. I think I make maybe a couple cents from that. But I've had people ask. All the other links in the store do directly go to me. Printful takes, there's the cost for printing, but all the additional profit goes straight to the channel. So it's a great way to help support and get cool merch. Also, these shirts are incredibly comfortable. Everything that I've gotten from them has been incredibly well made. I have a hat that's on the shop that says Craft to Create Community, which is our community logo, or our community slogan rather. And that thing went down a river by itself. I was tubing and it fell off of my head, landed in the water, and then floated all the way down the river through multiple little waterfalls. And some random stranger found it at the end, collected it, left it there with the other pile of hats that fell off and went down the river. It is embroidered. The logo is embroidered on it. There is not a stitch out of place. I stand by that hat. That hat I've had for over 4 years. It's been on every hike I've done for 4 years, and it is perfect still. So, really good quality, really comfy shirts. It's, yeah. I try to make sure that if I'm selling things, it's going to at least be something of decent quality. So I've done a lot of samples from them. But yeah, if you are interested, go ahead and check that out. Right? Like, I've got a great plug for that. Uh, uh, so you'll. I suddenly can't talk anymore. I will be back on Thursday with Pixel Party. We're gonna continue our playthrough. And yeah, come and hang out in the Discord because I'm gonna be there and answering questions and talking about crafting things. So I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their Tuesday and stay crafty.